chefs.
We are back with another video. No deck list, no custom card video. If I had put that out there already, I don't know if I've uploaded yet or not, but it's that season again where everybody starts putting up Banlist predictions. I'm already seeing a couple people put some out here and there on YouTube, so you know, free content, baby. This format honestly just hasn't been like a really bad format, like low key. There's only like a few problems I have with this format. We'll get into that shortly. I feel like this kind of ban list we'll get is just kind of like, you know, just kind of clean up a couple of things that's wrong with the format. As for stuff regarding Ryziel though and Malice, yeah, I don't have too much insight on that. I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all, but without further ado, I'm gonna just go ahead and get straight into the forbidden section. And first card I want to talk about, everybody's favorite lingering floodgate hand trap, Dimension Shifter. So Dimension Shifter, for lack of a better term, is an infuriating card to play against. Also, this is sort of a Tenpai hit because Tenpai is one of the decks that play this card and make decently great use out of it. So if you take away a completely broken hand trap from their arsenal, then, you know, oh, what are they going to do now, huh? Just make a towers. But no, Dimension Shifter is just a very oppressive, infuriating, brain-dead card. And if people say that this is a necessary evil for the game, may I point towards the Molcharmies. While they don't completely shut your turn down, they give you a choice of if you want to continue through your combo and give your opponent an insane amount of advantage, or just make a half-assed board and give your opponent minimal draws, but still being able to push through your disruptions. I really like the Molcharmies design. They definitely encapsulate what Dimension Shifter is, but on a much more skillful level, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I really just don't like this card. I don't like what it promotes. Now, for other bans, honestly, this could easily just not happen. It's really just hard to figure out what they could ban. Like, sure, there's a lot of cards I could just say, yeah, they should limit this, but they're not going to do limiting all of this and this and this because Konami is just never going to hit every single problem. But I feel like this is probably something that if it won't happen next list, it could happen a couple of lists down the line. I'll tell you now, this will happen eventually. Something else that'll happen eventually is Arch Nemesis Protoss. It's just like Dimension Shifter. It's just infuriating to play against. It's not fun. It's just also really hard to out. Unlike Colossus, where the floodgate is active until you get rid of the card, once Protoss resolves, you're screwed. You're cooked. Actually cooked. This card does not promote healthy gameplay, so does Dimension Shifter. And the fact that these two cards are used in the same deck in Ritual Beast, nothing against Ritual Beast players, but it's no wonder the deck does really well. That is actually it for banned cards. Like I said, there really isn't a lot of banned cards. Honorable mentions goes out to There Could Only Be One. This is kind of personal bias to me, but I keep losing to this card every time it's flipped against me, and it's not my fault because my deck that Konami designs, being all the same attribute, is losing to a card that punishes me for playing a deck with the same, not attribute, but type. Same type. There Can Only Be One should get banned too. I'm just saying, but I don't think it's going to happen. For limited, so we'll start from stuff going from 3 to 1. We are just going to copy the OCG because I feel like with limiting Ash and Poplar, banning Flamberge now at this point is just redundant. So consistency hits is probably the route they're going to take. No, I think they're going to leave Diabellstar at 3 because she's like our Albash for the Sinful Spoils lore or whatever. But I digress. This is all I got for Snake Eye, Fire King hits. I don't know if they're going to touch any Fire King cards specifically. I also don't know the ratios of Fire King cards. Like, is it Kieran like a 2 or 3 of? Maybe they could hit that card. I don't think they will, but they could because it's also a structure deck card. I'm just gonna stop talking about it. Also, for another limit, Phantom of Yubel. I mean, this card's just crack. I mean, if you thought Colossus was crazy, this card makes Colossus look like a joke. This card should be at 1. It should have been at 1 on release. Is that fucking stupid? And that is all that I have going from 3 to 1. A couple more honorable mentions. You got like Deck Lockdown. That's like a pretty good candidate. It's another one of those infuriating floodgates to play against. Same with Dimensional Barrier. That's also another card that could go on here, but I just don't see Konami touching that card. I mean, I seriously don't know how that card's okay, but that's besides the point. Now, cards going from 0 to 1. Again, we're just copying the OCG, so Dryden, honestly, really isn't that bad of a card. I think Master Duel still has this card. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, following those two games, we're probably going to do the same thing. Maybe. There is an outlier in the rank 3 guy that summons a warrior. Invoked Mecha, but no. MX Saber Invoker. That's the card. Sorry. Go up bold. I think this also just happened in the OCG. This is one of the few tuners that are still on the ban list that died for Hulk Sins, and that card's been banned for about 2 years now, if you guys can believe that. RIP my boy Hulk, you will not be missed. And also another OCG unban. We got Masterpiece. Just keep Diagram and Card of Demise at 1 and we should be fine. And last unban, or no, second to last unban, this is going to happen eventually, whether they put it to 1 or just straight to 3. It's gonna happen eventually. I don't know when, but it's going to. Something else I think that's going to happen eventually, because Konami just refuses to, give this deck a fucking bone. Electromite. This is one of the last toss cards still on the ban list. I mean, we got fucking Colossus back before this card. We got fucking Protos back before this card. What other crazy cards did we get? Bro, we have all of the Dragon Rulers, like, at 2 before this card. I mean, Dragon Rulers suck, but can we just talk about how we got both Protos and Colossus off the list before this card? This wasn't even like one of the main 4 in toss. Why is this still banned? Pendulums suck. That's a whole nother video on its own. But pendulums suck. You cannot change my mind. And that's it for limits. So for semi-limits, there really wasn't a lot of cards I could just see going from limited to semi-limited. And I can't see any cards going from unlimited to semi-limited. But to me, these like 3 cards just make sense. And we got both Jacob and Tsuchinoko. I'm sure you guys forgot that these are still limited. Is how irrelevant Dangers are now. Like, I looked at the ban list just now and I saw that these are still limited. I was like, excuse me, these are still at 1? These guys are past their prime. They're very much outdated. Also another casualty of the Toss Slaughterhouse. And one more card that I think could go to 2, not think, but predict could go to 2, is TG Hyper Librarian. Yeah, throwing at 3 of these just to get some draws plays really badly in the Fubulos. You'll probably end up getting drolled at some point throughout the way too, because fun fact, people are playing fucking Molcharmies and Drolls in their main decks. People have been doing that. I don't know why, but get it, I guess. That's it for cards going to oh wait, nope, I got one more card. Sekka's Light, another toss related card. They're really gonna sacrifice playing spells and traps just to get Pot of Greed? I mean, it's a good trade-off though, I will give it that. But does it have to be at 1 though? Does it really gotta be at 1? I mean, you can't play Impulse, you can't play Purge, you can't play Impermanence. Can't play Called By, you don't get access to stuff like it's just I think it's a fine card. It's a balanced card. And what's it gonna help? Super Heavy Samurais? Okay, cool. They're gonna not make Borreload Savage, they're gonna not make Baron the Fleur, and they're especially not gonna make Appaloosa. Now for Unlimits, yeah, rulers, done nothing, still is gonna do nothing. Colossus, Tiger, these have been going up with the rulers. They're probably going to continue going up. Though I could see a possibility of this guy just staying at 2, or this one. But this could definitely go to 3. It's not going to do shit. Into the Void to straight to 3. This card is terrible. Why is it still limited? Like, it was limited because Endymion, right? But, pendulums suck. Having a hand is, like, important. So why would you want to give up your entire hand for Upstart Goblin when you could just play Upstart Goblin? I mean, it could be the only card in your hand and you could still use it. This requires you to have, like, 3 or more cards in your hand. And this card's bad. Why is it so limited? Sorry, I sound like I'm going on a tangent right now, but Into the Void is just a worse Upstart Goblin. Chicken Game is more broken than this. And lastly, like Electromite and Summon Sorceress, this is bound to happen eventually. Pankotop's at 3. Again, if Fenrir is at 3, why isn't this at 3? It's just slightly worse than Fenrir. Also, I just want to have 3 QCRs of this. I want to play them all, please, Konami. Please! Alright, so I feel like solidly a good 90% of this is going to happen. I feel like they're gonna have to hit Shifter in some way, shape, or form. Like, there really isn't a lot to ban in this format. And know Konami, they love to ban cards. They just love banning cards. Also, I can't think of any Link monsters that they could ban because it's just kind of like a routine that they have to ban a Link monster every single list since Nightmare Goblin. Correct me if I'm wrong, other than that July list where it was 2020 July where they just unlimited like 3 cards and called it a day. Other than that, every ban list has had a banned Link monster on it. What other Link monster could go on here? SP, maybe that was in Rarity Collection, but are they gonna do that? They could. I could see it happening. But speaking of Rarity Collection, yeah, Protos has definitely got to be the Rarity ban here, because something's got to get hit. Same with Wanton and Bonfire. These are in Rarity Collection. They're done selling these cards. Limit them. Get them out of here. Anyways, that is it for my Banlist predictions. I predict that this is probably going to drop like mid to late December to early January. If not, drop December, go into effect January. If you guys think I am wrong and think that all of these hits are not going to happen in any way, shape, or form, please argue with me in the comments. I would like to hear y'all's opinions. Genuinely speaking, I sounded very sarcastic saying that, but until next time, guys, catch you on the flip side, and see y'all when this Banlist drops eventually. Please stop neglecting this pendulum player who's only gotten 3 QCO pendulum answers since QCO's core concept.